This is Learn English with Ease.
English made powerful, simple, and yours.
You know, Emma, I'll never forget one of my students from a few years ago. She was an amazing English learner, could read and write perfectly, but the first time she went to a restaurant in New York, she froze. She looked at the menu, the waiter asked, "What can I get for you?" And she panicked. She couldn't say anything. She ended up just pointing at the menu, blushing and feeling embarrassed for the rest of the night. And when she told me the story, she said, "Jack, I can pass an exam, but I can't even order a meal. What's wrong with me?" And honestly, Emma, I think this is a situation so many English learners face. Ordering food sounds simple, but in real life, with pressure, with a waiter waiting for you, it feels like the scariest thing ever.
Oh, Jack, I can totally relate to that. I actually had the same experience when I first moved abroad. The first restaurant I went to, I wanted to order pasta. The waiter came over smiling and said, "What would you like today?" And my brain just went blank. I knew the words, "I want pasta. Can I have pasta?" But I just couldn't bring myself to say it. And in that moment, I felt so small, like I was a little kid who didn't know how to speak. And that's the thing. It's not just about words, it's about confidence. When you're sitting there with people watching, maybe your friends, maybe strangers at other tables, and a waiter waiting for your answer, your heart beats faster, your palms sweat, and suddenly English feels like the hardest thing in the world.
Exactly. And you know what? That's why today's episode is so important. Because we're going to break this down. If you've ever felt nervous ordering in English, if you've ever wanted to disappear because you couldn't say your order naturally, then this conversation is for you. We'll show you the exact phrases you need, how to sound natural, and more importantly, how to feel confident. Because confidence is the secret ingredient. Ordering food doesn't have to be stressful. In fact, it can be fun.
Yes, and I think we should start by saying this. It's completely normal to feel nervous. You're not alone. Even advanced learners sometimes feel awkward ordering food. But here's the truth. The waiter isn't judging you. They don't care if your grammar is perfect. They don't care if your accent is strong. They just want to know what food you want so they can bring it to you. Once you realize that, the pressure drops. You don't have to impress anyone. You just have to communicate.
That's such an important reminder. So let's start simple. Imagine you sit down, you look at the menu, and the waiter comes and says, "What can I get for you?" The most natural way to order is, "Can I have," for example, "Can I have the chicken pasta, please?" Short, polite, clear. You can also say, I'll have the cheeseburger with fries, please." These are natural phrases, not robotic, and they sound confident.
And notice something. Jack didn't say, "I want." Many learners use "I want," and it's not wrong, but it can sound a little direct, even a little rude depending on the situation. "Can I have" and "I'll have" are softer, more polite, and more natural in restaurants. So if you take one thing from this episode, remember those two phrases. "Can I have" and "I'll have."
Absolutely. And here's the thing. When you order, you don't need long sentences. Some learners think they have to say something complicated like, "I would like to order this delicious-looking pasta from your fine selection." But no. Keep it short and simple. The waiter will understand, and you'll sound more natural.
Exactly. And here's another tip. If you don't know how to pronounce something on the menu, don't panic. This happens to everyone, even native speakers. Sometimes menus have French words, Italian words, or just fancy names that nobody knows how to say. You can simply point and say, "Can I have this one, please?" Or you can ask, "How do you pronounce this?" Waiters actually love when you ask, because it shows curiosity.
That's so true. I once ordered something in a French restaurant and totally mispronounced it. The waiter corrected me kindly and we laughed about it. So don't feel ashamed. Mistakes are part of the experience. In fact, you might even start a friendly conversation with the waiter.
Right. And I want to talk about another fear many learners have. What if you don't understand what the waiter says? Maybe the waiter speaks fast. Maybe the restaurant is noisy. Maybe their accent is different. Don't freeze. You can always say, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" Or, "Could you speak a little slower?" These phrases are lifesavers. And remember, you're the customer. It's okay to ask.
Yes, and if you didn't catch something, you can also use body language. Smile, lean forward, and show you're trying. People appreciate the effort. And you'll notice, the moment you stop worrying about sounding perfect and start focusing on being understood, everything gets easier.
You know, Jack, I think the real reason learners get nervous isn't the English itself. It's the fear of being judged, the fear of looking stupid. But here's the secret. When you go to a restaurant, nobody is grading your English. The waiter wants to serve you, your friends are busy choosing their own food, and strangers at other tables don't care. The only person judging you is you. Once you let go of that, the fear disappears.
Beautifully said. And I think that's why this skill is so powerful. Ordering food is like a confidence workout. Every time you do it, you practice real English in a real situation. And each time you succeed, even if it's just ordering a coffee or a sandwich, you build confidence. Little by little, you start feeling like, hey, I can do this, I can live in English.
Yes. And maybe we should give listeners a few ready-to-use phrases for different situations so they can practice. For example, when the waiter asks, "What would you like to drink?" you can say, "I'll have a Coke, please." Or, "Can I have a glass of water?" Simple, polite, natural.
And when you need time, don't panic. You can say, "Could you give me a few more minutes, please?" That's a lifesaver when you're still reading the menu.
Another one. If you're ready but want to order politely, you can say, "I'm ready to order now." Or if you want to recommend something to a friend at the table, you can say, "This looks good, maybe I'll try it."
And when you finish your meal, the classic phrase is, "Could we have the check, please?" Or "Can I get the bill, please?" In American English, people say check. In British English, bill. Both are fine.
See, once you know these phrases, ordering food isn't scary anymore. It's actually fun. You can play with the language, add polite words like please and thank you, and suddenly you sound natural, confident, and polite all at once.
And here's the last thing I want to say. Don't wait for perfect English before you try. Go to a cafe, go to a restaurant, and just order. Even if you're shy, even if you're nervous, just try. The first time will be shaky, the second time easier, and by the 10th time, you'll feel unstoppable.
That's right. And here's your challenge, dear listener. This week, go to a restaurant or cafe and try ordering in English. Use "can I have" or "I'll have." Use the phrases we taught you. And after you do it, come back and tell us how it went. Share your story, because every small victory matters.
Exactly. And remember, the waiter isn't your enemy. They're your partner in communication, and they'll be happy to help. So don't be afraid. Speak up, order your food, and enjoy your meal.
Because English isn't just about books and grammar, it's about life. And what's more human than sharing a meal?
Beautiful ending, Emma. So friends, go out there and order with confidence. And next time you sit at a restaurant, remember our voices cheering you on.
Yes. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who also struggles with ordering food. Together, we'll make English feel easy.
See you next time at the restaurant.